What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast, but today we got the GOAT Talk podcast back. I told y'all we were slacking for a long time, but we going to start doing this at least every other week, and we have a sad topic to talk about. Fletcher Cox retires. LB, you get to go first. How you feeling?
Man, I'm devastated by this one, man, because I feel like Fletch and Kelsey, but I'm gonna stay on Fletch. I talked about Kelsey enough. I feel like Fletch left at the top of his game. If you look at that Buccaneers game, Fletch was definitely still putting on. You know what I mean? And Fletch was making it hard for some of them younger guys behind them to like, ultimately X Fletch out the picture. Fletch was very much still a part of the defensive tackle rotation. I feel like Fletch and Kelsey both probably had 2 or 3 more years left in them. You know what I mean? It's just a sad day, man. But, I respect it, because he could have got an offer from another team. You know what I mean? But it's like, I'm going to start with the Eagles. I'm going to finish with the Eagles. I'm going to call it a day with the Eagles. And, that's only commendable. But, Howie Roseman is as good as Howie Roseman is. He definitely put us in position to have a plan moving forward. You got Cam Jurgens that's going to step in for Kelsey, and you have Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, an array of guys that's going to be able to, benefit from more snaps. I'm excited for Milton Williams and those guys, but I'm sad. Like, like the young, the 2020 to 2012 till now Eagles fan in me is sad, man. Because
And also means we're getting old. We're getting old because
Right.
our players that we watch when we were kind of in the 20s and stuff like that, they gone. You know what I mean? So it shows us that we're getting old. But I totally agree. I think Kelsey was an all-pro, so he was definitely, I think, more at the top of his game. But Fletch led the D tackle room in snaps. You don't just like lead the D tackle room in snaps and be like, I can't do it anymore. I just think, these players are looking out for their health and stuff like that. And I got to commend them still. Double-digit seasons, 12 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. And he was getting offers from Pittsburgh, too. Like, I still think that if he came back to the Eagles, he would have been, like, even if he took a discount, it would have been like $6-7 million. I think a team right now would pay this man $10 million to play. And that's crazy, knowing that he said, I could be a $10 million player or I'm going to retire. And he chose retirement, which, again, I'd rather him retire than put on another jersey for sure. The guys like BG, Fletch, Lane, Kelsey, them core 4 was crazy. But look at it, 2022 draft, you get Jurgens to replace Kelsey, and the 2023 draft, you get Jalen Carter to replace Fletch. And at the end of the day, Kelsey handpicked Jurgens, and if anybody, it's big shoes to fill, Fletch, right? Like his prime years when he was really stopping the run and getting at the passer, he did it at an elite level. But if anybody can fill the shoes, it's Jalen Carter for sure.
Right. And then you gotta look at the coaching staff and the front office of the Philadelphia Eagles for a little minute and say, well, what did these guys do to make Fletch or Kelsey want to come back? You know what I mean? We didn't do anything that made it, even appealing to these guys to want to come back. Jason Kelsey, you deny running the ball when you should have done it in a playoff game. You know what I mean? That'll cause anybody, you're wasting the little bit of playing years that I have left by coming out with these bogus game plans. Defensive coordinator after defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? Jonathan Gannon blows it in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Then you come out with this guy who don't even finish the season. Like Fletcher Cox is a double-digit guy. You can't play in the face of some of these guys, some of these veterans who are only playing for opportunity for a ring. So, I think it was a mix of, the front office, not putting these guys in position to win, and guys just having love for the city and say, I'm going to just hang it up rather than go play somewhere else and chase a ring.
Yeah, definitely respect that for sure.
Yeah.
Man, like you said, at least BG running it back for one more, but I don't know. Lane recently signed didn't he get extended for like 2 years or 3 years or something like that? So I think Lane, at the end of the day, Lane's gonna be the last one. He's gonna be the last one of the 4 because we know for a fact that BG's hanging it up after this season, and hopefully he can hang it up with some jewelry. You know what I mean? Some jewelry. Yeah. And the last 2 years, his snaps have only been around 40%, 45%. Now, last year, he wasn't that productive, but at the end of the day, our D-line didn't do much, especially at the tail end of that season. However, just 2 years ago in that 2022 season, Brandon Graham still was playing only 40% and had double-digit sacks. I can see him really ramping it up and going hard, especially with all these rumors, right? We're going to talk a little bit about free agency because I think the Eagles are going to spend big time, right? Some ski mask Howie stuff.
Yeah,
He got no choice to be ski mask now because we're hearing Hassan's allowed to go seek a trade, and now boom, we're taking calls for Josh Sweat. Who's going to be on the D line? Well, we lost Fletch. We might be trading our two bookends. What are we doing?
Exactly. You know, I mean, when you, in terms of just edge rusher, you know, that's the biggest question mark for me. You let your guy, you're two guys that can get you double-digit sacks any year, and Sweat is getting better every single year. You let these two guys, you know, test the free agency. So, like, what's the plan? You know, I mean, what does Howie Roseman have up his sleeve that's going to be able to, you know, mitigate this? Because if you think that Brandon Graham, bring a Brandon Graham back and making Brandon Graham play 80% of the snaps, you know what I mean, in year 15, it just don't work. So I'm expecting to see a heavy dose of Nolan Smith. You know what I mean? I'm expecting to really see him get some playing time. And I'm expecting to see Howie Roseman really make the call and put in the call for a big name edge rusher, man. We talk a lot about that guy, Huff from the New York Jets. Maybe he comes in. I can understand why you would let Hassan Reddick go test the market. He's a little older than Huff. I can understand that if you're going to go get Huff, who you brought up to me, led the league in pressures, right?
Pressure
So
rate, yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to go get a guy like that on a three-year deal, it makes sense to me. But you know, there's two edges on the defensive line. What are you going to do about the opposite edge? I don't like going into the season with Huff hypothetically and Nolan Smith starting. I don't like it. I don't think Nolan Smith is quite ready to take on that type of role. Maybe he definitely deserves more snaps. But you know, that's the biggest question mark for me right now. Is like, what's the plan for defensive edge for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah. Again, and we're talking about Bryce Huff being 25. Josh Sweat is 26. You know what I mean? He's not. It's not like Josh Sweat was about to hit 30, and we do have Josh Sweat for one more year as well. You know, an extension to Josh Sweat actually saves us cap money for 2024 too. So again, I think at the end of the day, as much as like a little bit of panic and Eagle Nation with all this stuff, you know, we it could all be a moot point because come training camp, we could be looking at Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick still on the Eagles with new deals. Again, Howie Roseman is always on that phone. The dude got like, he's always on the phone and he's always looking to better this team. And I did see a report that, you know, the management and coaching staff didn't like how especially the defensive ends, including Hassan, played at the end of the season. You know, you could say that there was we saw the bad body language on both sides of the ball. And you can, you know, say, yeah, Brian Johnson, Nick Sirianni, the mess on defense, Sean Desai, Matt Patricia. But even still, like as a player, you don't believe in the coaches, but you still, you know, for the fans and stuff, you can't pack it up. You know what I mean? And
Right.
So I think that is also part of the reason why we're looking around. But I don't think you got to dramatically change the D line. What needs to dramatically change is the back seven, you know, corners, safeties, linebackers. You know, I've been doing all these free agent videos. I didn't really even talk about adding anybody to the D line until yesterday, because if you're telling me we fixed the linebackers and safeties, I'm cool with Sweat, BG, Nolan Smith, and Hassan Reddick. That's a really good four-piece right there. And then you got Carter, Davis, Milton in the middle, and even a Jomo and Marlon Teben doing some good things. I don't need anybody like Brian Burns, Bryce Huff. Like, cool, but I want to leave the D-line go and fix the back end. And I think this defense will be legit.
I agree. I agree. The strongest part of the defense was the defensive line. So it's a bit of a surprise to me to hear that, you know, we're thinking about making moves there, especially when a guy like Fletcher Cox retires. You know what I mean? You would want to keep that core group together as much as possible because you've seen what they could produce on the football field. You know, where is any of the news coming from, you know, making changes at cornerback or making changes at linebacker? We're not hearing any of that news at all. And I think that I agree with you on this, man. I really feel like those are the positions that we need to be focusing on, because touching the defensive line makes no sense. You know, what's the now it's a lot of questions, you know, on, you know, personnel changes and how this new defensive coaching staff, you know, sees just the future for the team. Like, who are the players that these guys are identifying that best fit the scheme? You know what I mean? We're going into this thing, you know, with a blindfold on. You know, what's the plan moving forward? We know that you can't fix these things in a draft, especially if you want to go deep in the playoffs. Now, the Chiefs are an exception. They're able to draft young guys and get these guys up to speed and still win championships. But with the money that we have and the GM that we have, I'm expecting the Philadelphia Eagles within the next 2 days to be making some big names on guys that are proven to, you know, contribute at the NFL level already. You know what I mean? Like Huff, you know, he's proven to be a beast. As a slew of linebackers available. These guys are proven to put on. Safeties, these guys are proven to put on. So, you know, even focusing on defensive line right now outside of the retirement of Fletcher Cox is just confusing to me right now. You know, this is one of the very few off seasons that I could say I'm going into this thing and I just don't have like a clear-cut, concise picture of what they're trying to do to get better on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, definitely not painting the picture we all thought that needs to be painted for sure. But you know, March 11th, March 13th comes, boom, you fix some things in the linebacker room and secondary, and I'm looking at a Fangio-led defense where we went from really bad last year to I'm saying maybe the defense is as good as our offense, and if you can match them, that's how you really get that 2022 running back season. Let me ask you this though, Fletch retiring, right? We know Jalen Carter is built to step in and fill those shoes. How you feel about Jordan Davis?
I think Jordan Davis will get better the more opportunities that he gets. You know what I mean?
You believe he has a problem staying on it? Like if his snaps go up, do you think his play decreases? I just want to hear from you. You know, we heard the lazy talk at the end of the season. I won't really say lazy, but Baldy don't really get on people for no reason. The Baldy is a Philly guy. You know what I mean? He reports on all the NFL teams, but he comes from Philly. So Baldy had some, you know, he needs to get into work.
In terms of Jordan Davis, first I'll start here. On my depth chart for defensive tackle, Jordan Davis is not ahead of Milton Williams. And that's no
say that. I knew you were going to say that.
That's a fact, man. Milton Williams, if there's anybody who deserves the snaps, you know what I mean, since Fletcher Cox is out of the building, it's definitely Milton Williams. I think that Jordan Davis will naturally get more snaps, especially on first and second downs. But if he gets outworked by Milton Williams, it could be talks of bust. Now, we haven't seen much of Morrow, but Morrow is a dog. You know what I mean? Morrow was an extreme gem. You know what I'm saying? That we didn't really get to see much of. I think
Jomo.
Say that again.
A Jomo.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
You say Morrow, I'm like linebacker.
right. So Jomo, I believe, also will surprise a lot of people. But the ball is in Jordan Davis's court. He got all the tools. He got the size. He got the athleticism. But Milton Williams is ahead of him on the depth chart. Milton Williams is DT2 right now behind Jalen Carter. So, you know, maybe Milton Williams getting more snaps can camouflage Jordan Davis from putting out bad film. But, I mean, the ball is in his court, man. He got to go out there and clog that middle, man.
Yeah. I think when it comes down to the start of the season, the depth chart's going to say Jordan Davis, and they're going to give him every opportunity. But as you said, right now, I'm looking at how Milton Williams is going to probably steal that job. And if you were making a depth chart, he's definitely DT tackle 2 for you. I think Milton can do, like, he's so underrated as a pass rusher. They use him a lot to stop the run as well. But Jordan Davis just needs to continue to work on getting in shape long enough to play the entire game, the entire season, because when we've seen the potential. That Buffalo Bills game screams superstar D tackle. You know, he's chasing down Josh Allen. He's taking on double teams and stopping the run himself. And he got a couple pressures, right? You know, we saw the sacks come up a little bit early in the season. Everybody's sacks tailed off at the end. Josh Sweat went 8 games without a sack. Hassan missed a couple games. Even Jalen Carter fell off. That collapse on defense was ugly. You know what I mean? However, I seen him go to work in the Vikings game week 2. I seen him in the Buffalo game. I seen him show up on tape in the first 6 to 7 games. First 8 games, he fell off. And so, is that him being lazy? Is it the shape, or is it just what the whole defense fell off? So I don't know, but I think the spotlight is going to be shined on him for 1, Fletch being out, 2, his snaps coming up, and he was, you know, he picked. What number did we pick him at? 13?
10, I think.
10?
Didn't he? I think it was 10 or 12, something like that.
Yeah, that's right around where Fletch was picked. You know what I mean? That's where Jalen Carter's already shown. We got no worries of Jalen Carter. You know, If he came out and did what he did last year again, would be good. But I think Jalen Carter's going to be. I think Jalen Carter's going to be pushing for that double-digit type sack as a D tackle, which is hard to have. Hargrave, he did it. A couple people can do it. Aaron Donald did it. Well, Aaron Donald's just a crazy sack guy for a D tackle. That being said, the spotlight will be on Jordan Davis for sure. And Milton Williams, they're all teammates, but Milton Williams here's my chance.
No, yeah, and it's a great chance for Milton Williams. You know what I mean? Milton Williams has been a dog his whole career coming out of La Tech. And listen, man, Jordan Davis, this got to be the year. This got to be the year that he shows. Now, when he's on the field, we stop the run at a really, really high clip. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But he got to continue to do that. And don't forget, BG also can get some snaps at that D tackle position as well.
Yeah, he rotates in.
Right. It's Milton's job to lose. I mean, it's Jordan Davis' job to lose.
That's facts. And again, what worries me is, he got his boy Jalen Carter pushing him right and whatnot. But when you do want your guy, when you know the potential's there for Jordan Davis, and I'm glad he got to play 2 seasons under Fletch, right? Because you see that Hall of Fame type work ethic. That I'm 30. Jordan Davis is 20-something years old. Fletch is mid-30s, and he's putting the extra work in when he don't have to. He already got decades of experience, and you see Fletch stay late in the gym, and Jordan Davis is like, man, I got to stop playing video games and get in the gym too. So it's going to be interesting because right now, Jordan Davis, Milton's the veteran guy. He's coming up for a contract too. But our D tackle room is young. It went from old to young with the drop off of Fletch.
Yeah, and I can see now. Honestly, don't be surprised by this. With the news of Fletcher Cox, I can see Howie Roseman getting ahead of Milton Williams' contract right now. I can see because this reminds me of what happened with Sweat. How we just came out of nowhere and signed Sweat. It'd be like, man, dude had 5 sacks, but it ended up being like a good situation. I can see Howie Roseman really extending Milton Williams probably this offseason.
Yeah. I know some people were talking about that Miami Dolphin D tackle, Christian Wilkins and stuff. He's a beast. He's a dog.
Right.
He's a problem. But again, if you have to trade or if you have to sign a big free agent D tackle, which listen, don't get me wrong, him and Carter next to each other would be wild. But if you got to invest that much money into a position where you already got 2 first-rounders and a 3rd rounder, then something's wrong. You know what I mean? You can't explain to Jeff Lurie, I got to give this free agent D tackle, $18 million a year while I have 2 first-rounders and a 3rd rounder on their rookie contracts that are supposed to be able to deliver. So I think you got to go in with that 3-piece. And as you said, Ajomo is no slouch too. And Marlon T came in and did some stuff too. So I think we're set there. Again, if barring a trade for Hassan Reddick or Josh Sweat, I think you don't have to touch the D line. I'm going to swear by that. We're going to see what happens. Again, you know how the Eagles are too. Howie's always going to feel out his options, and we like to do a lot of smoke screens too. Now, I think the Hassan stuff is real. He deserves a new contract, and if the money don't hit, that's real. I'm at this point right now, I'm more concerned that the Eagles, it's a harder task to keep Hassan than Sweat, because Sweat being 26, if a phone call don't scream, holy crap, you're going to give me this, there's no pressure to trade Sweat. I mean, yeah, there's no pressure to trade Sweat. There's pressure on the Hassan Reddick thing because of the money not being able to work, and you don't want him to walk for next year for free or whatever, So there's more pressure on the Hassan thing. I just think if I want anybody to fix our problems as it pertains to salary cap and roster construction, I'm going to believe in Howie until he proves me wrong.
No, yeah, Howie's definitely, earned the grace, earned the right for us to just sit back and be patient with, the money that we have and the big names around some of these players. So yeah, definitely all trust in Ski Mask Howie for sure, because Howie has shown that he can build a roster that can get you to the Super Bowl not once but twice. And the fan base seemed to be split on this one right here. Not only are we trying to make moves on the defensive side of the ball, but this Saquon Barkley thing is really, really heating up for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I don't understand how anywhere in the universe. Now, I love Swift. I think he was underutilized. But there's no way on God's green earth that you could give me Saquon Barkley in one hand and Swift in the other hand and make me think about Swift. It just don't make no sense. When did this notion that Saquon Barkley is washed up come out? when it started, when the rumors start swirling that there was mutual interest with the Eagles, Saquon Barkley is a generational talent who could probably do for what this offense with Christian McCaffrey did for the San Francisco 49ers. I saw somebody tweet that. You know what I mean? That's the type of impact that a player like Saquon Barkley can have. And I'm all for getting Saquon Barkley. Shit. I'll pay Saquon Barkley I'll give him a 3-year contract. That's Saquon Barkley.
I Saquon Barkley. Hey, listen, I said this on Twitter. And it kind of went off. The tweet went off. I said, hey, all I'm saying is the last time we had a Penn State running back, we went to the bowl. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just saying. Now, look, here's my thing. I'm still nervous about Saquon Barkley's injury history for sure. You know what I mean? Especially if you invest that money and knock on fake wood. But prior to DeAndre Swift playing the 2023 season, he had an injury problem too. Now, maybe us underutilizing him hurt us, but it also helped Swift not get hurt, and he still had his best year. The only way I'm going Swift over Barkley is if the contract is massively different to where, again, I've been preaching this. Other than running back, I'm cool with the offense. We got the tight end, wide receivers, O linemen, and quarterback. And they're all young and under contract. The defense is what still scares me. So I think, I think almost every single penny in the offseason should be invested in the defense. And so if Swift is now, because there's a report that Swift is, more considering to come back to Philly because that market's not looking that good for him. I think on that NFL's list, they even got him behind Tony Pollard or something as it pertains to the best running backs in the thing. I think it was Barkley first, then it was Henry.
It was Henry. It was Josh Jacobs.
And Tony Pollard's before Swift on the list. And so, I mean, I don't think Pollard's better than Swift, for sure. But if NFL teams are treating it like that, then Swift might just come back on some, like what 1 year, like another 1 year deal where it's only worth a little bit. So that's the only thing. If again, I don't see running backs being paid in today's game like that. But if the difference is going to cost me a linebacker, like if it's 2 linebackers and Swift or 1 linebacker and Barkley, that's where I'm like, man, we need to get that defense helped. We need help on the defense. Besides the line. So that's where I'm at. And until the numbers really come out, like fully, we don't know. But I'll never say, like, again, Saquon's had good years with horrible O-lines, horrible coaching, horrible quarterback play, and horrible wide receiver. Think about it. CMC is the dog, regardless. But when you have to watch CMC, but you got Kittle coming up the seam. You got Debo on the end around, and you got a Ewick. They got weapons. So as much as CMC's numero uno in that offense, you can't forget about Debo. You can't forget about Kittle. And if you got Devontae and AJ, you don't got time to worry about the running back in the backfield. Also, Jalen Hurts keeping it. So Barkley would absolutely get an upgrade at quarterback, an upgrade at skill players, and an upgrade at O-line. He would eat.
Yeah, and Swift had the opportunity to eat as well, but we refused to give him the ball. Yeah. So this really wouldn't be a discussion had we utilized Swift the way he should have been utilized last year. Like, listen, if we can get Swift back and save some money and still be able to put some money towards the defensive side of the ball, I'm on board with you there. But if the numbers don't cripple you for Saquon Barkley, you got to do that. You got to do that. You know what I mean? So I mean. And the fact that there's mutual interest, man, you got to do that. I seen Tiki Barber talking about the New York fan base would end up with what they would despise him. They would hate him if he came to Philly. Well, it's like he should hate y'all because y'all ain't do nothing to put nothing around him.
Y'all ruin this man.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to ruin him. So, hey, man, I don't think he want to leave too far from the area. He's a Penn State guy. You know what I mean? Coming to Philly, we'll definitely welcome him here with open arms. But, don't X out any of these other guys like Josh Jacobs. It's a lot of guys out here that would really help us get this defense to the next level, but nobody better than Saquon Barkley. I feel like number 1 and number 2 is Saquon and Swift because the skill sets are the same. So, yeah, I would bring Swift back before I bring back Derrick Henry probably. Before I bring Derrick Henry again.
I hear you. Dre Diesel with the $2 super chat, he said, make no mistake, we got to go get a D lineman now. In general, again, Fletch leaving does hurt off the simple fact that he led the D tackle room in snaps. He had the most snaps. So replacing that is going to be not just one player. It's going to be Carter, Davis, Milton, Ajomo all together. But if we do lose one of these edge rushers, definitely you have to grab a D lineman. And if we do lose an edge rusher, we're talking about going out and trading for guys, but there are some guys we could draft in the first round. Now, are they going to be 100% ready? Who knows? I think a guy like Chop Robinson, though, could come in and make some stuff happen. But again, I don't even know which way the Eagles are going to go in April because I don't know what's going to happen in March. Because this free agency is crazy loaded. We got more money than we normally do in the offseason. Like right now, we could say cornerback, it should be the draft. But what if we end up signing some DBs or whatever? Like, I got to see what we do in free agency before I know exactly where we're going to go in the draft. But man, I think 8 draft picks.
I got a feeling where they're going to go already. They're going to go offensive line in the first round or defensive line in the first round. This
O-line, D-line.
This is what we do. You know what I mean? We're going to grab some skill guys, some linebackers out of free agency, and we're going to try to draft, you know what I mean, a guy we can have on a rookie deal for a couple of years on the defensive line or the offensive line. I just feel like that's almost logical, especially for the place where you are. You're 22, so you really ain't gonna be able to make no crazy splash there. But there will be some O linemen and some D linemen. Yeah, you could call. Yeah,
you could
make a call and bump up. You definitely could make a call and bump up. But they only gonna bump up for D lineman or O lineman. Yeah. But we'll see.
They're gonna move up for that. Like said, like look where we drafted Jalen, Fletch, and Jordan Davis, all 13-9, all around there.
Right.
So, hey, Dre, you might be right. You want a D lineman, it might be coming, but it might not be coming free agency. It might be coming via the draft for sure. Jung Money with a $2 super chat. Who do you want at running back and factor in cost? We were just talking about that. I should have pulled this up. But if we're factoring cost, I think I'll just go Swift. If Howie's telling me don't worry about the money, it's not that big of a deal, then Barkley. Again, I'm nervous about the injury history, but Barkley's a dog. Like him and CMC, they can do it all.
They definitely hand to hand. But you know who else is available? Austin Eckler. You know what I mean?
I like him, but I'm afraid. Well, again, it's the Eagles, so maybe we're not going to run him. But I'm just afraid of running him like hard because I mean he hasn't been hurt much, right? Like I always I don't have the stats in my head, but I always look at him as a pass catching back. He can run between the tackles too, but I don't know. I don't know.
It's a lot. It's a lot out there, man. And I don't think the market is that crazy. I think you really could sign a running back like Barkley for the cheap this year, and you could sign a safety like Gardner Johnson for the cheap this year, man.
Do you think Gardner Johnson will come back though with all the drama around it? Or I mean, money talks. If we put them dollars in front of his face, he's not gonna be. But do you think there's like a little like, do I really want to go back there after I got my car stolen? I blocked a couple of Philly guys. Hey, he blocked me. I didn't really even say nothing bad, dog. I literally just shared the video that somebody else put out of him telling his teammate when he was with the Saints, don't get money advice from me. I don't know nothing about that. Like when he went to the Lions, I retweeted that. You know what I mean? And I did say, and I think I said one time, he said on one show that the Lions are better than the Eagles 2022 team. And I said, no, listen, CJ, I did this and I added him at this. I said, CJ, you a dog and Philly loves you. But come on, you can't compare the Lions roster to the Super Bowl Eagles. And that's the worst thing I said to him. And I'm blocked.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll come back. I'm going to tell you why I think he'll come back. First of all, I feel like the Eagles know that they got to come correct. They got to come with a deal that's fair. You know what I mean? And I feel like the Eagles know they made a mistake by letting him walk out the door in the beginning, especially with how poor the safety play was. He'll come back because he's a guy, I don't want to say he likes to be in a spotlight, but that'll be the controversial move. He can get paid and be controversial. Oh, I'm going back to the team that I had a little feud with after we went to the Super Bowl. The secondary was trash after I left. Come on, he'll come back.
You're right. He'll like that.
Yeah. He'll definitely come back. But he's not the only good safety left out there. He's not the only good safety out there, man. I haven't seen a loaded safety class like this in a while, man.
I know there's a lot of vets. But look, I mean, I like McKinney a lot. Like you look at him as a Giant, and the Giants haven't been a good team and all that, but just last year, the dude had 3 interceptions, 11 passes defended, 116 tackles,
Damn.
and 3 tackles for loss. The dude literally can play in the box. He can play high. He can go down and guard your best tight end. He can watch the running back out the backfield. He can play nickel. He could come down and guard your slot receiver. The dude
How
is
old is
a beast. He's 24.
Damn.
I want McKinney bad. And listen, the dude was a 2-time captain. Now you can say what you want about the Giants and there's not many good players over there, but yo, like, look, Smitty's only been in the league. I think Smitty and him came in at the same time. Am I right? No,
I think so.
Smitty's been a captain 1 year. McKinney's been a captain twice already. 2-year captain. Let 116 tackles from the safety position, 3 interceptions, 11 passes. He's a dog.
So if it came down to Gardner Johnson or Xavier McKinney, who you going?
Oh my gosh. That's really, really rough. Gardner's only 26. He's only 26. Look, I love his ball hawk ability. I love how he plays. Dude led the league in interceptions while missing games with the Eagles. And y'all might hate me for this. I think I go McKinney though.
I ain't mad. I ain't mad at it. I just think Gardner Johnson and Midnight Green under Fangio will be even better. That's how I feel. But McKinney, I mean, to produce like that with all that turmoil going on around the Giants been ass for 15 years. I mean, to produce like that, I mean, that speaks, man.
Yeah, and like I said, Gardner Johnson, I think, I just think that McKinney does, like, Gardner Johnson had his mishaps in tackling, right? Like, he wasn't the strongest. He got a couple big hits, like in the Super Bowl when he laid out the Chiefs dude and got fined for it. But like, he's whiffed some tackles early on. I do think his ball hawk skills is crazy, and I can't go wrong with either. I just think that actually with the way the Giants play defense with all their blitzing, even kind of hindered what McKinney can do in a more free for all like Fangio defense where he's going to be playing the ball more. Like I seen it like that whole playoff game where the Giants finally did something good against the Vikings that day. Like I went back and watched that film, and McKinney's just, I seen him shut down. Who was their tight end again? Who did they get from the Lions? The Vikings tight end. It was somebody in the chat. Let me know the Vikings tight end's name. But anyways, I seen him 1-on-1 with that dude who's he's top 10. I seen him play center field and 1-on-1 with Jefferson and just show up. He could run with the best of them. I'm just like, look, I like McKinney, but CJ Gardner Johnson. Last time he was here, we went to the Super Bowl. Hey, even Bradberry looked good when CJ was here last time. So who knows? I'm not mad at either one, but I think that you might even have the opportunity to get 2 safeties in this thing. Now, I don't know if you can get 2 dogs like that. I think if you get CJ, then you got to get CJ and a veteran guy on a cheaper deal, or McKinney and a veteran. I don't think there's no way how he's going to be able to pull off the 2 top safeties. You know what I mean? I think it's one of them and like a Simmons, or one of them and like a Quandre Diggs or something like that,
I agree, man, because we can agree on this. A move needs to be made. I don't care who it is, McKinney or Gardner Johnson. A move needs to be made. Reed Blankenship got a bit exposed last year, if you ask me. Who was the other guy back there?
In coverage at times. But look, all in all, like I remember him getting burnt by the Giants, and it's TJ Hawkinson. Shout out to the chat for letting me know. TJ Hawkinson, mano y mano, shutting him down. Real quick, let's read Anthony's because he was talking about that Saquon Swift stuff. Anthony C, always showing love to both sides, both channels, and he got his own podcast. It's called the Day One Podcast. He talks Eagles on here too, but he's more of an NFL in general type show. Go check that out for sure. He said, I love Swift, but Saquon would break the NFL in this offense. Kellen Moore would feast with that in addition to what we already got. And like we said, Saquon goes from Daniel Jones to Jalen Hurts, from I don't even know who their offensive line is, to Lane and Dickerson and Mulata, to Sterling Shepard and Slayton, to AJ and Devon. Like, come on. Like, you can't, like, when you play the Giants, you know what you say? You know what's on the defensive drawing board? His name? Saquon. That's it. Right. Stop Saquon. He come over here. It's video game. It's video game. It's Madden highlights you can do. So I
I
agree
got
with that.
I got it being announced next week.
Hey, what's his name? Yeah, I forgot who. The dude who said the same that tweet. He said I believe it's going to be announced next week, and it's going to be like CMC for the Niners. That's what Barkley's going to be for the Eagles. You
I'm
know.
on board with that.
Mhm. What was about what we were just talking about before? I lost it.
What were you talking about, McKinney?
We were talking about the safeties. Oh, Reed Blankenship. Pro Football Focus had his coverage grade at 78. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. I mean,
Nah,
78.
he was like he was so Reed. I'm a Reed fan. Maybe it was just like a little sophomore, second year slump. Reed was trash in the red zone. You know what I mean? He just couldn't cover in the red zone for some strange reason. It's like the simplest routes were confusing him in the red zone, just not knowing his assignment. A lot of that showed up a lot in the red zone for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not giving up on Reed. You know what I mean? Reed is definitely deserving of a roster spot for sure.
Yeah.
Reed thrived when it was guys around like Gardner Johnson and just that's it. I mean, he thrived with Gardner Johnson. With Kevin Byard, I thought he would be able to thrive there, but no, you know what I mean? I think Reed could be a rotational guy, but I think you do need two safeties.
Yeah, I think two safeties for sure. And I'm a Reed fan too. But right now you have Reed and one legs Sidney Brown. I like Sidney Brown. Who's just say we got to see how that ACL recovers and all that, and best luck to him. But like, I think you got to get one of McKinney or CJ Garner Johnson, and then also get one of them, 30-year-olds. And I know people hate signing 30-year-olds, but there are 30. Look, how old was Malcolm Jenkins when he was playing for the Eagles? He was in his 30s. Like
when we first got him from
no, not when we first got him, but like even maybe not the last year he played for us, but the second to last year, he was still playing pretty good. He's playing great football, and he was in his 32, 33. It's like, look, I'm not happy to sign 33 and 30. I don't, maybe 33 is too much, but like Justin Simmons at 30, I think he has a lot left in the tank. Even like a Quandre Diggs is pretty good at 31. I don't want the 30 or 31-year-old guy to be our only signing, but I think if you get that young dude, 26 or 24, and McKinney or CJ, you can pair him with a Justin Simmons who's 30, who knows Fangio, who actually played his best ball. And listen, he's 30 years old, but he's coming off a Pro Bowl. Like, I think you give me Simmons and CJ or Simmons and McKinney, I like it.
I like it too. Who's the guy from the Bills?
Jordan Poyer. That's we drafted him, and then we that was our draftee way back when. And then when he left us, he became good.
Right. So did he have a was he all pro this year?
I don't know if it was this year. I think it was the prior year.
Yeah, he's about 32, right?
Yeah,
he's in his 30s. So I mean, yeah, give me a young guy and give me a guy like that. I'm fine with it either way, man. But a change got to be made. You know, the linebacking core, man. I think you could get away with drafting there one guy, but I think you also still need to sign another guy. You know, I don't think we're done with the Nakobe Dean experiment. I think we're going to give it like one more good year before we try to say, well, this dude is a bust. But, you know, as far as linebackers go, I think you got to either draft Edgerrin Cooper, you got to draft Trotter Jr., or you got to draft that kid from Michigan, Colston. So I did some film I looked at film. I compared the three of the guys. And I'm a fan of the guy from Michigan. I think he's the better of the three for sure. I like what Cooper brings to the table, his speed and things like that. But I just think he's a little lanky for the position and what we would like to use him for. And Trotter Jr., I like Trotter Jr. as well, but I think you got to draft one of those three guys and you got to make a splash in signing probably one or two more linebackers. But, you know, you need a lot of work on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of work.
Yeah. Linebackers, safety, and you could even use a corner for sure. But the linebackers, there's pretty deep bag too. Like, I mean, that Van Ginkel dude, he's like the fringe guy. I like him. He's not gonna change. He's not gonna change life. Azeez Al-Shaair is a nice name to watch. We got his linebacker coach Bobby King from Tennessee. Devin White is a veteran type guy out there. Devin Bush. You still got Levante Davis. But Patrick Queen, that would be my dream signing. You know what I mean? But again, he probably wants bread. Like he wants, I don't know, 15, 20 a year. It's like, come on. I mean, but we've seen how valuable the linebacker position was in these playoffs. And we sitting there with Zach Cunningham and Morrow. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
How important is the wide receiver 3 spot to you?
Sign one of the Eagle content creators to play. I don't care. I don't care about it.
Yeah. I feel you because I think somebody linked Tyler Boyd to us for some strange.
Yeah, I seen that was a Bleacher Report.
Yeah. Tyler Boyd was linked to us. I don't hate it, but it's just not that important to me. You know what I mean? It's not that important to me, but it's some holes that need to be filled for sure, man. Really, some holes that need to be filled for sure. With Cam Jurgens sliding back to center, you know what I mean? You got to go find a guard. So I think we're going to draft a guard, or maybe that guy.
Steen might be able to play.
Alabama, yeah. Steen might get some. I like Steen too. Steen might get some burn. So a lot of mixing and matching, man. What's the salary cap numbers like for us right now? Somewhere around 45.
40 between 44 and 46 it looks like right now.
Okay, yeah. We're sitting pretty, man. We're sitting pretty. We still got our first round pick. You know what I mean? This is when Howie Roseman flourishes, man. Next week, we're going to be having videos to make about some of the new talent that the Philadelphia Eagles acquired.
Facts. Real quick, shout out to Trey White with the $2 super chat. He said, thanks for what y'all do. We appreciate you. For showing love. Hey, wherever y'all watching it, hit the like button. We got 739 people watching total on both channels. Again, we are live on 2 channels, Philly Talk Podcast and Lord Brunch's channel. Definitely sub up to both. Hit the like button. It's like, you know what I mean? It's free, it's easy, don't cost a thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Fletcher Cox retirement, free agency coming up. Like, as much as I'm excited about this offseason, it's been a little sad. I mean, at least we got the sad news out for. I'm always a person, if somebody tells me you want good news or bad news, I was like, give me the bad news first. Right. And let me finish with the good. So we got the bad news out, right? I'm happy for their, taking their next step in their life, but I'm sad. Kelsey and Fletch, I mean, I don't really remember the Eagles without them. You know what I mean? I just don't. Like, it's that long, That being said, the good news is Barkley could be here. Patrick Queen's available. Safeties. Like, we got free agency should be good. We need to spend every single penny for 2024.
Yeah, I agree. And we got some high draft picks that gotta, they've learned. They sat and wait their turn. Cam Jurgens, he learned a whole nother position. You know what I mean?
He has no penalties. He played. Don't quote me on the snaps. It's a little under 700. I think it's either 689 or 698. I had the stat on one of my last videos, but 600 and just under 700 snaps, and he's yet to ever have a penalty.
Man, imagine him getting to the second level with Saquon Barkley.
I knew you're gonna bring
that shouldn't be crazy, Mike. They gotta go get Saquon, bro. What Kellen Moore is about to do with Devontae Smith and his passing game and the route creativity. Listen, say what you want about Kellen Moore. He could get an offense to perform. You know what I mean?
We gonna love him. As much as they hate him, we gonna love him.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, man. Go get Saquon. Get Saquon. This is my wish list with the money we got. Extend Smitty. That ain't gonna cost you. It's gonna cost, but it ain't gonna cost.
That saves us $1 million for this year. Like, that's gonna hit us, impact us in 25, 26, 27. But we actually save $1 million by extending him.
Right. You could extend Smitty. You probably could even extend Landon and save even more money.
That's like, I think I saw it was like $900K. So that's almost $2 million. You get your 2 young studs under contract, and now you get $2 more million to the cap. That's crazy.
Exactly. Go out there and grab Gardner Johnson. I'm a Gardner Johnson guy. So I would go Gardner Johnson, I would go Saquon Barkley, and I would go Simmons. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with that. Huh?
Got to throw a linebacker in there.
I do got to go. I got to throw a linebacker in there. I'm still on the fence about the linebackers. You know what I mean? Because that's a touchy situation for me. Get back to me there. Who would you grab right now?
Yo, I'm with you. I'll take all of them. I think a Gardner Simmons combination would be lethal. I'm Saquon for if the price is right, or Swift, but we'll go Saquon in this video. So sign me up with everybody you said. And to be realistic, I would love Patrick Queen, but I'm gonna be realistic because I'm not gonna get the top linebacker if we're getting one of the top safeties and another veteran. I say, you get that. I don't know. Probably that Van Ginkel dude. I think he's pretty good. You get him and draft a linebacker. Then if we doing that for the safety position, then I think linebacker should be our top priority in the draft. But I'll throw that Van Ginkel dude on there, who I think is like, maybe 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 15 million, something like that, where he's not going to break the bank. The linebacker from the Denver Broncos, Josie Jewell, again, is he a stud? No, but he's 3 years straight of 100 tackles. You know what I mean? He's not a liability in coverage. So again, I don't think you can go stud linebacker and stud safety and get Saquon, so I'm trying to be realistic. But you give me the people you said and throwing in a Josie Jewell, a Van Ginkel, I'm cool. Patrick Queen, of course I would love him, but you know what I mean? We can't be too greedy, I guess. We'll see. How he always trying to be like now how he's been killing the draft. We haven't been like, well, we just got AJ a couple years ago. We always do some big moves. It's Howie season.
I could realistically, I could see the Eagles getting McKinney. I really could see that happening. I really like, as much as I'm a Gardner Johnson guy, I really feel like the Eagles would go out there and get McKinney and Barkley if they could from the Giants.
The Giants would hate
it. Right. They already do.
We stole Smitty from them. Now we taking their best. They're only two good players on the roster.
Right.
That'd be crazy. Shout out to Anthony C once again with a $2 super chat. Morrow, keep a job. He should be selling insurance. Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie. Nicholas Morrow in the first 3 or 4, right when Nakobe Dean got hurt, he played some good football for
3 weeks. Yeah, like 2 weeks. Yeah. I would entertain Zach Cunningham in a rotational role though. I would entertain that.
Yes. He can't be your best linebacker,
right?
But if you bring him back with other guys, if he's number 2 or 3 on your depth, as skill wise, I'm cool with it then. But last year he was our best guy, and then again, part of the reason why he was available in late free agency is because he always gets banged up. And when he played for us, he was good. But then what happened? Banged up. Right now, we still got to wait and see. Nakobe Dean, again, I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to hold my breath for him being great, but and I'm not saying it, but hey, you're the one. The reason you hate it, you said that Kobe Dean's going to be better than Michael Parsons. That's the one take that Cowboy fans are not going to let you go off of on Twitter.
Hey, man, Nakobe Dean is buns right now. He got to prove me wrong, bro.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm with you. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I'm still curious to see what he can do if he stays healthy.
I'm not, because I already seen it, Mike. I don't think he could do it, man. I don't think he could be the guy. I don't think he'll ever be the guy. You know what I mean? He could be a rotational guy. Maybe he can grow to that, but we ain't drafting him to be a rotational guy. We drafted him to be the guy.
So so wait, how many games has he played so far?
I don't know. Not enough.
Like 3?
Maybe.
So you're, but again, best ability is availability, and I wholeheartedly believe that. But you're saying in the 3 games this man suited up, what his rest of his career is gonna look like.
Yeah, man, because I don't like it, Mike. I don't like it. He got it. First of all, he got it. Okay, that's fair. Let's let him stay healthy. Let him come out and stay healthy. If by week 4 he missing a game, then we know what we got.
It's a wrap. Yeah. If he's hurt by week 4, then it's like he got that tag on him now. He can't stay healthy.
He got to play 10 straight games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need 10 straight games to give a proper diagnosis on him, or it's like we got to bring somebody here who can play 10 straight games.
Correct.
I mean, my guy Michael Felder, man, thank you for the super chat. Or any of you going to the game in Brazil, I will not be there. That is on my daughter's birthday. I know for a fact I ain't gonna make it.
Yo, Philly Sports Chips reached out to me a little bit about that, but I don't know, man. I'm not trying to get lost in another country. You know what I mean?
No, Gail from 4th and John and Philly Sports Trips, they reached out too. So
yeah,
they get details yet, but
it would be beautiful. I mean, it would be fun, but I don't know, man. I don't like to travel too far away from the link. You know what I mean?
Rio de Janeiro, it's crazy.
But shout out again to Mike Feller, always showing love to both channels and whatnot. And there's another super chat real quick. Shane L with the $5 super chat, bro. I'm done buying Eagles jersey. I got a Swift jersey along with 10 others that don't play for us anymore. Hey, man, listen, in today's game, look, So shout out to the Kelseys, the Lanes, the Fletch, the BGs. That's double digits with the same team. But in today's game, there's no loyalty on both sides, and it's a business. It's becoming even a true business. You know, guys leave all the time. But you know who you can get, and I guarantee you, he's going to spend the rest of his career with us. Get a Devontae Smith jersey, and you'll be all right. You'll be able to rock that for the next 8 years.
Or what you could do if you don't got a Fletch or a Kelsey, grab one of them.
Yeah, but yeah. You know, and the crazy thing is, remember when the whole number changed? Like, I got a Slay 24 jersey, and now he number 2. You know what I mean? So that change in numbers kind of hurt too. But on Nakobe Dean, this is where I stand. I wouldn't bet that he would become really, really good. I'm just leaving the door open. My whole thing is, though, if Howie Roseman tries to sell us, we don't need a linebacker because Nakobe Dean's coming back, I'm gonna be upset. Like, I still believe there's potential there with Nakobe Dean, but he's not. You got to act like you still need to get a linebacker. So he's not saving the day right now because I'm with you. One more injury, and it's like, is this Avonte Maddox all over again?
You know, in all fairness, he's been in the league 3 years now.
Well, this is going to be his third year.
He's going into his 3rd year, and he's had a new defensive coordinator every year. You know what I mean? The same for Jordan Davis. He's had a new defensive coordinator every year. Now, Jordan Davis's job don't really change much, but Nakobe Dean's job might change. You know what I mean? Depending on who the coordinator is.
Especially under Fangio, how he uses his linebackers.
Right. So, we'll see.
For sure. Shout out to John B with the $2 super chat. He said, move Reed to outside linebacker. A little light. He could tackle, but a little light. And listen, at the end of the season, nobody was tackling, but he is probably one of our best tacklers, although nobody could tackle at the end of the season. But, I don't know.
I'm disappointed that I ain't hear no moves being made at the cornerback position, to be for real. I know.
We got James Bradberry, boy. What do you? Nah, just kidding.
No, I'm saying I know we would have to eat like 38 mil by cutting him, right?
Well, it's doable if he becomes a June 1st cut. Then it's like I think it said we would eat 4 mil this year and 10 mil next year. If it's June 1st, if we cut him now, yeah, we'll be hurt. That would hurt us.
I think he out of here June 1st.
Yeah. But then then here again, are we looking at a corner in this free agency? Are we drafting a corner, or do you believe it's Ringo's time?
You got to sign a corner.
A veteran, a guy who's proved it, you're saying?
Yeah, you got to sign a corner. Anybody except Steven Nelson.
His friend.
Right, acting like he's so scared to be in Philly.
He said he had to get out of here for his mental health.
Right, man. Yeah, anybody except him.
Look, I know you say James Bradberry's name to Eagle fans, and they just go from smiling to like immediately upset. I will say this though, I think he's going to be going. I think he needs to be going. However, we talk about how bad the coordinators were. Now he got beat mano sometimes, so that's not the coordinator's fault. But for the 2022-2023 Bradberry thing is like day and night difference. How? Don't fall off a cliff like that.
How you can go from being an all-pro to just being buns the next year like that?
Yeah, not even a Pro Bowl. Like Pro Bowl is like cool. A lot of people make Pro Bowls nowadays. He was an all-pro.
Yeah, he was one of the best corners in the game last year.
And now he's all buns.
Yeah, he went from all pro to all buns. So I think they're going to let him play again. I don't think he's going nowhere, to be honest. You know what I mean? I'm hopeful. I'm not even hopeful, man. That he's a June 1st cut. I've seen greatness out of Bradberry low key. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some real good out of Bradberry. So I'm not going to be that upset if he's back for another season.
I just think you need to have a plan. So again, you're right. If he's a June 1st cut, cool. We moving on from him. I'm not mad at it. I'm cool with that. I actually prefer that. But if he's here, he gets the first nod alongside of Slay. But you have to have a plan that if he gives you a game or two of 2023 Bradberry, you got to have a plan to get him out. You know what I mean? You got to have a plan there, whether he just sits on the bench or not. Like, you can't allow him to play like 2023 the whole 2024 season. I think if he's here on the roster, he gets the first nod. if it's not working out, that's when you got to involve Ringo, Eli Ricks. Maybe you trade for a corner then, or maybe you did draft a corner in this draft and he's ready to go. But there got to be a backup plan for if we get the 2023 James Bradberry.
No, yeah, I agree with that, man. We just put him in some bad positions last year, too. I think we had him in a slot a couple games. He was getting cooked. Like, he ain't no slot corner, you know what I mean? He's really like a zone guy.
Yeah.
A big body guy that could put in some work, down there at the goal line. I think he should be used more like how the Eagles used Jalen Mills, you know what I mean, back in the day. But, at the end of the day, man, some of it was scheme, some of it was him, but something got to change at corner as well. Because Slade coming out on all these podcasts saying he don't want to tackle because he want to have teeth in his mouth. He want to be able to play with his kids. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like come on, man. I would like I love Slay, you know what I mean? But come on, man.
Yeah. That Steven Nelson podcast was funny, man. The way Slay said we were crazy, but he also said he likes that we're crazy. But the way Steven Nelson was talking, and I don't know who the other dude was, but when they were telling, he was like Meek and everybody. It was wild. That's wild. They make us like we the big bad wolves. Like, come on, bro. Like we all like Steven Nelson said, I'll make a good. He's like, I'm no scrub by any means, but he said, I make a good play, and this fans still arguing with me. That's funny. Shout out to Shane H with the $2 super chat. We about to get up out of here. Kellen Moore will be the next head coach of the Birds. You think that can happen?
Yeah,
Do you think if the offense takes off under Kellen Moore, if the offense takes off, eventually Kellen Moore is going to get a head coaching opportunity somewhere else. Do you think that they would do that, or do you think they would just like, where are you at with the organization and Sirianni? Like,
I thought Sirianni should have been fired this offseason. If you want me to keep it real, man, I thought Sirianni should have been fired this offseason, man. I just think it's inexcusable for how this team went out down the tail end. I think the lack of adjustments in our playoff game where we was a one and done is a disgrace. Not wanting to run the ball is a disgrace. You know what I mean? Just letting it just under your watch, letting it collapse like that without making adjustments is just a disgrace. So this is why you have these situations to where, and everybody knows it, they don't want to fire him because we just took us to the Super Bowl. But now he's a CEO style head coach. Meaning he just on the sideline, meaning he just go to the press conferences and answer questions. He don't call plays for the defense or the offensive side of the ball. So what the hell is he doing? How many coaches are like that in the NFL who don't do anything for the offensive side of the ball or defense side of the ball? It's like Harbaugh for who? Baltimore?
Yeah.
But what he does is he intervenes in key situations. You know what I mean? True. Nick does that too, but Harbaugh intervenes in key situations. He knows when to throw the challenge flag. Nick should have been gone, man. And if the offense take off, Mike, if the offense take off, unfortunately, the team will take off and Nick will be safe. So I don't see how in any scenario where Kellen Moore gets that job.
Yeah. Look, well, here's what he's saying, I think, kind of. If the offense does so good under Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni, supposedly, right? And then it comes to the point where now Kellen Moore is getting head coaches offers. And now Laurie and Howie got to make a decision. Are we willing to lose Kellen Moore and keep Sirianni and get a new OC? Or give Kellen Moore to, you know what I mean? What he's saying is, if the offense takes off so good, you're like, yeah, Sirianni's safe. But what if Kellen leaves? Would you, that's the scenario where then Howie could say, dang, if Kellen leaves, goes to be a head coach for another team, we got to start all over at OC again. If we keep Kellen Moore, we get an OC in here, but he's also he calling his own plays like Andy Reid, and Sean McVay and some of these guys. So that's where I think some Eagle fans are saying that Kellen can take that, because in this league, if you look at Shane, he was OC for a year or two, boom, good. Now he's head coach.
Yeah,
and then head coach. So I don't know. Here's my whole thing on Sirianni real quick. I was so mad. I was as mad as everybody else at the end of the season. Like, just the disgustingness of everything. But it was, and I understand, like, what do you do, Nick? Like, and again, I think, Shane Steichen deserves credit for the 2022 season as well. But I don't think it was just Shane. I think it was Shane and Nick together. I think what happened is when it was Nick and Brian, it really wasn't no togetherness. It was Nick and Brian just going along with it. So I think, and again, we've heard Kelsey, this is before they even collapse. I've heard Kelsey say on his podcast numerous times that the way Sirianni talks about offense, like he knows offense, he's creative. Like Kelsey said that this is before any allegations of him being fired. This is why we were like 8-1. You know what I mean? We were flying high last year, this year, whatever. He said that multiple times. That being said, I just think that when you have his game plan with another person's game plan and they're crossing T's, dotting I's, and Shane's like, all right, let's put this into it. And Nick's like, oh, I didn't think about it. I agree with you. I think when it's the collab like that, it's good. When it's Nick by itself, it's no good. So I think you're going to see some of the same things just with better executed, more motion and stuff like that under Kellen. I think it's going to be more Kellen's scheme, but I do think it's going to be a nice blend between them two. And so, long story short,
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that, Mike. I don't want to see that.
You don't want to see.
No,
all I want to see from Nick is the brotherly shove. The rest got to be Kellen Moore.
That's it. I don't want to see any remnants.
Hold on. So you like the offense in 2022? There was some Nick Sirianni in 20. It wasn't all Shane. He called the plays, but it was some Nick.
The offense in 2022 was refreshing. You know what I mean? The people didn't know how to play us. It was new. You got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. It was new. Everybody was under the impression that Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. So what they did was blitz, leaving all-star wide receivers one-on-one. Now you know he could throw the ball, and the game plan was still to, when they blitz, just throw it up to a wide receiver. We did not attack the middle of the field. We did not utilize the running back screen. You know what I'm saying? We just weren't good offensively from a play caller. You saw the route chart of Devontae Smith.
Correct.
Devontae Smith can run routes that haven't even been created. You know what I'm saying? Devontae Smith's route running is in the future. And we got this guy just on one side of the field, not using that type of talent as well. So no, I don't want to see any. I don't want to see no horizontal game plan. I want to see no wide. I want to see no bubble screen to a wide receiver. I don't want to see none of that. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
No, I ain't trying to sway your opinion, but I need them to come out and bro. They had Devontae Smith in training camp, lined up at the halfbacker spot. You know what I mean? Lined up as a running back, running Texas routes. That shit ain't happened one time in one game last year. You know what I mean? So I don't want to see anything that got nothing but the brotherly shove. I don't even want to see his face on the sideline, bro.
Right now. This is a dude. Yo, this Lord have mercy. Look, I don't want to just bring up what he did about, again, the Super Bowl was cool. We didn't win it. But again, I'm with you. I was excited about Kellen Moore because there needs to be change. There needs to be change to this offense for sure. But still, there needs to be change. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I'm with you on that. But I think that Sirianni getting a guy like Kellen Moore, whether it was his decision or Howie's decision, lets him know that, you know, he needs to be on his because he don't got much time. His seat is on fire. I also think that you're right. We need to see change. But I also think Sirianni knows, like, I think last year he refused to change and stayed stubborn. I think that he's going to change with Kellen Moore for the good. I think you're going to see a new Sirianni, a rejuvenated or a guy who knows he's fighting for his job because he got a OC who's a possible head coach candidate. Kellen Moore, when he left Dallas, he was a head coach candidate. You know what I mean? Before he went to LA as the OC. So he knows he got someone that is up and coming on staff that could take his job. So I think you're going to see a new and improved Nick. And if not, got to get him out of here because this roster's too talented on the offense. We need to see if the defense can match the offense, and that's what free agency is about.
Yeah, and also, to be fair, you know, Jalen Hurts got to evolve too because Kellen Moore does not run a simple offense. You know what I mean? It's not that simple, man. With the option routes, you really got to be in sync with your wide receiver. So we're gonna see Jalen Hurts go to another level, and we're gonna see the offense go to another level. But guys got to be in that playbook right now.
Yeah.
So you know,
I'm with you. We got to get up out of here. Shane H with another $2 super chat. We appreciate the love and support. Can't keep changing play callers with a young quarterback. I agree. True. You need to get some continuity around the franchise guy Jalen Hurts for sure. And so hopefully we keep Kellen Moore. We got to see how it plays out in 2024. But the whole running back season, we still referring to the 2022 season. We just too lazy to change the graphic, to be honest. We're not trying to run back 10-1 collapse for sure.
Exactly.
With all that being said, hit the like button wherever you guys are watching it from. It's free, it's easy, don't cost a thing. LB, what you got going on this week before we get out of here?
Man, I'm just gonna see what's going on with these moves that's about to be made. You know what I mean? Of course, you know the content coming daily, man. New music on the way, all that good stuff. Yeah, man. Make sure you like and subscribe. We around.
For sure, for sure. With all that being said, 700 people still watching. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. We out.